Legit hustle. Legit hustle. Go get him, Uncle Mike.
Yeah, it's like take number 4 or some shit like
Go get him, Uncle
that.
Mike.
Man, I'm just finna spit this shit. Try to keep in mind where I'm supposed to stop. It's gonna come out how it come out, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Ever move such a pace, you change your time, space, and place. Disappear without a trace. Reappear to show your face. Only time to time, cause the bottom line, you only got the time to make. Foot on the gas, don't touch the brake. Fuck if I crash, state to state. Most times blessings, that's your grace. Lots at stake, watch for mistakes. Treat obstacles like they steak. Heavyweight, then clean your plate. Even if you ate already. Grown man shit gets heavy. War in the streets is really up. So lock and load and aim steady. You a hustler, time to prove it. You a gangster, who you move with. Better keep an extra toolkit. Pray to God to never use it. Just a clue for all the clues. Playing dumb, but don't be stupid. Like Steph Curry off the dribble. I don't even gotta look when I shoot it. Just a warning for the busters and an anthem for the hustlers. Next time you fold your bundles, just remember, hustle told you. Keep your drip right, yeah, that's Nova. Keep your coat as cold, that's polar. Put that hustle over your shoulder. Carry that bitch till it's over. Yeah. It's legit hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? For the hustlers only. If you out here grinding, pushing, getting it on your own, trying to build something for yourself and your family, I'm talking to you. Yeah. So what you took an L? Everybody fall down sometimes, man. Get up, shake that shit off. Keep it pushing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You a hustler. If he gave up, it wasn't me. Not in a hustler's pedigree. I knew the path that I had chosen wasn't free, nor should it be. A real leader's gonna stand up, give his friends a helping hand up. If he get one, then he got one. From the Lambo to the Phantom, only if it's just legit. All 366, he only swing for the fence. Legit hustlers never miss. Belt the ass, I got a list. Rub me wrong, you get your itch. Pop out, I hope you got a wish. Like the genie in this bitch. Hustlers and suck, never mix. Real is real, so don't forget. That is that and this is this. On the real hustle shit that we kick. You dig? You dig? Yeah. That is that and this is this. It's on the real hustle shit that we kick. You dig? Yeah, like I said, man, it's legit hustle. Tales of a hustler. You know what I'm saying? For the hustlers, man. The go-getters. You know, people out there getting it on their own. Yeah. If that's you, welcome. Tales of a Hustler 3. Here's your homie, legit hustle. Yeah, man. Speaking for the hustlers, man. No matter where you came from, you can be from the streets, you can be Ivy League, you can be a stockbroker, man. You can be just a regular dude, man, selling fruit on the corner. I don't care, man. If you a hustler, you know you a hustler. It's in you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you. Yeah. I've worked too hard to stop now. But it seems like every time I turn around, it's somebody hating. I need to ride. Yo, yeah.
Rest in peace, nigga.
Yo, man, this one goes out to everybody out there getting it on it.
And every
You
other
know what I'm
soul.
saying? However you getting paid, however you paying your bills, hopefully it's legit. You know what I'm saying? But even if it ain't, do the best you can, you know what I'm saying? And get it on your own. Yeah, West Coast, slow motion. Waking up the morning views of the ocean, freshen up your swag, roll up your neck back, 40 on your hip, dip to the west side. Between the trees and the breeze is where you reside. You let the 6-4 dip slow side to side. The good life, no longer stressing on that hood stripe. Your kids bless, you can't flex, you doing all right. On top of that, today you rhyme with your lady. Yep, that's your baby. Play with her, they must be crazy. Had the hood going crazy when them shop doors open. Cuts in the city, that's what you been promoting. The pleasure's clear to see that every real G is positively positive to the community. Productivity, that's the slogan. Pushing back on the force is trying to stop us from growing. They can't hold it back. When the door of opportunity opens up for you like a Cadillac, you ain't having that. You came too far to try and travel back. And plus that's way too whack. So when the plans stay rolling and the door
keep floating while your life unfolding and you blast going. Never mind the haters, can't make or break you. Where will hustle take you when your faith don't forsake you? Yeah, it feels good when you getting it on your own. Pushing fly wheels, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS and rare when life ends you stones. It feels good when you getting it on your own. Pushing fly wheels, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS and rare when life ends you stones. But don't expect it to be easy breezy. Size lean and cheesy, it's slightly greasy like an Eskimo. Trying to sell your bro that don't love the pole. His ass still ain't free. The truth is you take the good with the bad. If it's worth it, then on purpose, it ain't easy to be had. But don't let it stop you, cause unless they pop you, then you gotta know the wind's already in the bag. It takes thick skin to walk amongst men that don't comprehend the grind that you're living in. Unfortunately, it usually proves to be negativity from friends and your family. But when you focus, you can't get caught slipping. You cool ranch while you living. Fly with eagle, not chickens. And you bound to see between you and me that there's no enemies. And yes, success is the proof. Me, I'm still noodle flowing in the booth. If you need more proof, go and check me mirror. Cause it couldn't be clearer that you're bound for the top. So stay on your grind and don't you dare ever stop it. When the roadblocks, act like mad cops. That only means you're just a mirror, homie, just watch. And you need to be silent when you're made of iron. And for winners like you, there's no such thing as trying. It feels good when you're getting it on your own. Pushing fly whips, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS to bread when life can't through stones. It feels good when you're getting it on your own. Pushing fly whips, putting families in fly home. But you gotta stay strong when you're walking on your own and turn BS to bread when life can't through stones. And there you have it. You know what I'm saying? This goes out to everybody out there getting it on their own. Like I said, you over there, feel me? With the fade, all the barbershops, hair salons, nail salons, massage parlors, dentist office, you feel me? Soul food restaurants, whatever you do, man. You work for yourself, it's your anthem right here, man. It's my salute to you. I see you get it on your own. And if you can employ other people, you're a real life hero. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Yeah. Keep getting it on your own.
Omni Beats.
Yo, what's up? Greetings, everybody. This is Mike, aka Mr. Legit Hustle. Y'all know me, your homie, your brother from another mother. First and foremost, thank you for checking me out, for being here rocking with me. Could have been anywhere else on the internet, on YouTube, but you're here watching my content, so I just want to thank you. I also want to ask you something. Do you have a dream or goal that you feel driven to pursue? Or maybe you're like me and you're already deep in the pursuit of your dream or whatever that goal is, and you like a little motivation and direction in overcoming the challenges that you face. You know, sometimes we doubt ourselves. Sometimes we get afraid of failing. Or maybe you just need some inspiration from time to time. Well, I want to encourage you to never allow yourself to fall victim to discouragement. When you choose to pursue a goal or a dream in your life, know that you're gonna get met with opposition and challenges. It just comes with the territory. But there's too much at stake for you to quit. And if you're like me, then you've come too far and through too much to ever give up on that dream or that goal. So, I want to invite you to grab one or two or all of my legit motivation presentations. You can watch the videos on my Legit Motivation podcast on my YouTube channel. And if you see one that you like, you can download the actual slide presentation that I developed and used in that video. That way, you can review the information in depth at your own pace. Now, each slide presentation is packed with factual, reputable, and verifiable information from reliable sources as well as the game I've learned in 46 years on this realm. So head over to my Legit Motivation podcast on YouTube or go to 𝐬𝐿GH&x. Presentations are free, but if you'd like to support the channel, then you can donate there as well. Whether you do or don't, the presentations are yours to keep. Plus, you'll get a special bonus offer on all of my products and services when you download your first presentation. So head over to 𝐬𝐿GH&x or look for the link in the comment section of the video that you like. Alright, again, thank you for rocking with me. Enjoy the rest of the show. Peace. What's up, everybody? YouTube land. What's going on, man? Hope y'all like some of the new graphics and layout of the show. Trying some new things, trying to get this live streaming process down pat a little bit, but welcome to the show. Now this show is a little bit different from my legit motivation shows. This is the SMB podcast, which is for small medium business podcast. These shows are more specific to business owners, entrepreneurs, people that work for themselves. So these presentations get into more specific and some more advanced business topics and concepts. Now, if you're familiar with my legit motivation podcast, then you know that I offer the presentations that I use in each show to download for free. So I will be offering the presentations from the SMB podcast as well in the next couple of weeks or so. So everybody kind of make sure, check back with me, and that way you can find out how you can get a free copy of the presentations that I use, if you like them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you necessarily want one, but if you do, I'm gonna make them available for everybody. So check them out. I'll make sure I add the download link in the video descriptions. That way you can get you a presentation for free. All right. Also, these presentations are also a little different because these are condensed versions of the presentations that I do in my private workshops. So at the first of the year, I'm going to actually start back doing private workshops for everybody. Usually they're free, depending on what we're talking about. So if you want to check those out, you'll be able to sign up and attend some of those starting at the first of the year. So I got a lot of cool things coming. And again, this is specifically for those people who work for themselves, entrepreneurs, whether you're a startup or you've been in business for a while, small business, medium business. These are the topics that I find to be most useful in my business, right? Now, for those of you all who don't know, who may just know me from this channel, my company, 𝐬𝐿GH Solutions, I actually do AI and automation for small businesses and some web development. I have a couple apps and things that I've been developing on my own over the last few years. So that's what my actual business is. So the YouTube channel is kind of a outreach way, or a way for me to outreach, I should say. New potential clients that may come across this content and find these topics interesting, right? So if that's you, please subscribe, follow along, come kick it with me sometimes. You know, we're gonna have a lot of fun. So definitely keep up with the channel. Again, if you're a small business owner or somebody that works for yourself, or just a hustler, man, you know. All right, so today's topic, we're talking about AI and why it's imperative. All right, the word imperative tends to imply that something is urgent, that it needs to be done right now. Now, I know a lot of us have been overwhelmed with AI A lot of the content that you see is AI generated. I use AI for content as well, as a lot of people know. Like some of the music video scenes that you saw earlier, a lot of that's done with AI. So I do use AI for content creation. But the more powerful way of using AI is actually to automate processes and workflows in your business, right? Any task that you find that is really repetitive and you would like to streamline that process so that you can be more productive, that is the most beneficial, well, I'll say not the most necessarily, but one of the most beneficial ways that we as small business owners, hustlers, and entrepreneurs can actually use the tools that we have available at our disposal currently right now. Some of it may seem overwhelming, and it indeed can be, but if you're in business for yourself in 2025, if you're trying to make money for yourself in 2025, no matter what size business you're operating, no matter how big your hustle is, no matter how experienced you are in business, AI and automation is something that you definitely need to be looking at. So what I'm going to do in this particular presentation, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go through the slideshow and discuss the different ways that AI can improve our businesses. But I'm also going to show you some behind the scenes footage of the way that I use some of these same techniques in my business, 𝐬𝐻 Solutions. All right. So without further ado, let's kick it off, man. Let's see what we're talking about. So when AI first hit the scene, the content generation thing kind of took the spotlight, right? But for those of us that are in business that deal with these technologies on a daily basis, that's not the primary way that we use them. One of the first ways that businesses began to incorporate AI and automation into their use was just the automation of simple tasks, right? These can be emails, scheduling, basic workflows, right? And they required a lot of oversight because systems break, things malfunction, and any updates that you need to make to a private automation system, unless you're subscribed to a large platform, most of that work and upgrades and tweaks and fixes has to be done by the developer who's developing the automation. So for example, when I build an automation for a client, if it's a custom job and it's not being run through like a major system, then anytime there's a breakdown in the process, I have to actually manually go in, check the error logs and things like that and find out what's going on and manually fix it. Now, that can be tedious, but the overall benefit to having those processes automated far outweighs the aggravation that comes with things breaking sometimes, right? Like for example, I had a email sequence, a lead nurture sequence that I was running. It was about 7 emails long, right? And I started getting email responses from prospects because they were getting irritated. Well, I had mistakenly designed a loop into the scenario, right? So it started emailing people like way more than I intended to, So things like that happen, when you're working with automation. But again, the potential far outweighs the headache for it. So over here under the new reality, there are so many ways that automation expands our capabilities as small businesses, content creators, entrepreneurs, hustlers, whoever you may be. But you don't have to try to do it all, right? You can just focus on a couple key areas. One of my favorite areas when it comes to automation and AI is the last bullet point under new reality, and that's strategic value creation, right?
I won't go into it too deep, but one of the private workshops that I do is on monetization. As a business owner, especially if you have any type of intellectual property or rights to any type of intellectual property, you would be amazed at what AI can actually do to help you build value into those intellectual properties. That helps to build equity in your business. That helps to build value in your business. And those are ways that you begin to build wealth using your business, right? So that's one of the main ways that I like to talk to clients when I consult with people about how to really use AI as a small business, is to just get straight to the thing that we all really want to do, which is help us make more money, right? And that's one of the ways you can do it. I want to share an audio book with you guys that I came across on YouTube. Let me see. I think I got it pulled up. If not, give me 1 second. I'm gonna find this file so I can share it with you guys. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. Y'all give me 1 second. I apologize. Thought I had it pulled up, but I didn't. Okay. This book right here, I think I already put the link to it on YouTube. And this is an audio book called Build the System. One of the biggest misconceptions that we have about business growth and how to actually grow yourself or scale your business profitably is we tend to think that we have to do more work, that it requires more effort. But in actuality, in today's world, with the tools that we have with AI and automation, that's not the way we actually grow. That's not the way you actually scale a business nowadays. One of the biggest concepts that you have to understand if you're in business for yourself in 2025, and that is system building, right? How do you turn everything that you do, everyday task, into a system? Because once you design a system for the things that you do in your business, then you can automate it, right? You can expand it, and it doesn't require you to necessarily do more work, right? So I'm going to share a real world example of how using these things to build systems for our business actually allows us to make more money and be more productive than maybe you thought you could be, right? So some of y'all that know me or maybe familiar with me know that I started out working for myself in the beauty business as a barber, and then I eventually became a hairstylist after I went to school. So as a hairstylist, if you work in the shop, one of the easiest ways for you to make more money using a system is to, once you have a system for performing the services, so let's say it's your most popular service, a relaxer, a blowout, something like that, right? In order to make more money, yes, you probably want to have more clients, increase your demand, but a very easy way to increase your productivity that people often do is to hire an assistant, right? So let's say your system is greet, consult, shampoo, perform the service. Once you hire an assistant and you don't have to no longer greet and consult with and shampoo the client, that allows you as the stylist or the shop owner or whatever your role is to spend more time and energy doing the things that actually make you your money, which is performing the services.
So now, because you can focus more on performing the services as opposed to greeting, consulting, and shampooing clients, now you can book more people. You can take on more clients. You don't necessarily have to do more work or work harder, I'll say, right? Because you have an assistant that can take over routine or repetitive tasks that you tend to do on every client. Having an automation system when it comes to these tools in your business is the same way. What you want to do is look for ways that you can automate processes, decisions that need to be made. You can use these things to train new hires so that you don't have to actually take time away from your day or have someone else to actually train them. There's so many ways that you can incorporate these systems into so many different business models. And at the end of the day, a business model is actually just a system. A business model is a system that you apply to a particular business. And there are many types of business models, as most of you probably know. So this isn't as complex as people think it is. And the tools that you use aren't as hard to understand and use as you may think either, right? So this is some interesting statistical data from the role that automation has been playing in major corporations over the last few years. I like to look at this information because while all of us may not be in a position to operate or function like a major corporation, it's always good to see what the big boys are doing in the game and look for ways that you can incorporate techniques, strategies, find trends in the way things are going economically in the business world. So it's good to kind of peek in on what the major corporations are doing and how they're using these things so that we can emulate them. And while I'm not a big proponent of competition, if you're going to be in business for yourself, then competition is something that you're going to have to deal with. Doesn't mean you have to be competitive in your spirit, right? You don't have to be greedy, as people like to associate with it, but you do have to understand that because people have a choice, that creates competition. The demand creates the competition, right? So it's just a part of doing business. These big companies, for many of us as small businesses, are competitors of ours. A McDonald's franchise is a competitor for a neighborhood soul food restaurant. Maybe not directly, but they function and serve the same purpose in a community, which is to provide food, right? So there are times that the people who shop at the big corporation will sometimes shop at the mom and pop soul food restaurant and vice versa. So looking at what larger companies / competitors are doing in your particular industry or your particular market is a good way for us to plan and look into what's going on and how the business world is evolving and how we can implement these tools and strategies into our businesses, right? So one of the things that I want to look at with regards to statistics is the 5X, because that's a return on investment multiplier. This is the average return on investment for the strategic use of AI implementation across different industries. 5 times, right? So what would it mean for your business, no matter the size of it, if you could multiply your return on investment in a tool or your investment into a strategy, if you could multiply that 5 times? What would that mean for your small business? These are the type of capabilities that these tools allow all of us, no matter the size, no matter your industry, to incorporate into our businesses, right? So we're all familiar with generative AI at this point. So generative AI is what we often see with content creation, the AI videos, things like that. But what you may not be familiar with
is how you can use generative AI to generate marketing materials, reports, and communications in seconds, whether it be text messages, emails. There are voice AI agents that you may find useful in your business, depending on what it is, right? And that's based on generative AI. Now, what generative AI helps to do is add lots of value to our companies. I'll give you a real life example, right? Whenever we can make a customer feel valuable, don't we increase the odds and the likelihood that that person will do business with us not only one time, but hopefully on a repeat basis, at least twice, hopefully, right? So I'm gonna turn my mic up just a little bit because it sounds like it might be a little bit low. I hope that sounds better. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. I hope everybody can hear me good now. So let's say, for example, a client calls you. You're not able to take the call at the moment. But as opposed to it just going to a voicemail and them having to leave a message, how much more valuable is it for us to make that person feel important enough that we want to make sure we address whatever their concern is right now? So instead of a typical voicemail message, an AI agent takes the call and asks the caller a series of questions to find out exactly what it is that they need, why they may have contacted you that day, right? And especially when it comes to generating sales leads, if you're familiar with, or if you're in a sales based business, then you know speed to lead is very important. And the more time that you have between the initial contact with a person and when they make a decision about it, leaves room for another competitor, for them to call someone else, for someone to contact them in the meantime, in between time, and then we end up losing out on potential clients, right? So by having these types of tools at our disposal, it allows us to keep our prospects in our sales loop, keep our prospects in our marketing loop, right? Another thing is it helps to accelerate your development. Again, when it comes to monetizing or developing intellectual properties for your business, this is another valuable way that AI really, I'm talking about. Look, I'm gonna talk about this on this video, but I got some cool things that's coming with the channel that I'm using this in my business for, and it's gonna be really cool, man. So I could talk about this. I'm just gonna say stay tuned into the channel because I got some really cool things coming up with regard to ways that you can use AI to accelerate the development. And it's not something I want to talk to everyone about. It's one of those things, if you stay tuned in with my channel, you'll see it as I do different things behind the scenes with my company, or even out here on the YouTube world, you know. So it's one of those things that you can talk about. There's plenty of videos that you can watch, but here at Legit Hustle, I like to show people things, right? So I'm gonna jump over and show you guys some things from behind the scenes on my actual system that I use. All right, the first thing I'm gonna show you is this system right here. All right, so what you're looking at right now are some of the automations and sequences that I've designed for a couple of apps that I use personally within my business. Some of those automations include things like lead nurturing sequences. When you go to one of my websites to download one of these 3D presentations that I use, these are the systems that collect information and also make sure that your download gets sent to your email address, things like that, right? So because I have those things in place, I don't have to manually send out information to people when they request it. Now that is nothing new, right? That's been around for a while. Those of us who've been marketing and selling on the internet know that that capability in itself is nothing new. The difference is that because I custom designed this, there are things that on some of the platforms, let's say you use the email platform like MailChimp or MailerLite or something like that, right? Sometimes the capabilities that a platform offers, you don't necessarily need for your business. And sometimes there are things like that may be more custom ideas that you want to try out that you can't necessarily do on a system because the capabilities are already predefined. So you're paying a subscription for a set of predefined capabilities, right? When you have custom systems though, that you can tie into larger platforms, you can make those larger platforms way more valuable and function way more effectively for you because you have other automations running behind the scenes that may not be available on the platform. Or you can just have things like this running in the background and you may never need the subscription that you would pay to a larger platform. Because I don't have to worry about certain parts of the marketing and advertising and selling part for my business specifically, that allows me to focus more on the things that I actually do that add value and generate revenue for my business, right? Things like this presentation or the workshops or private consultations that I have with clients, right? Now I want to show you also this. Now I can't go into this because these are the databases that contain different information, and some of it has client information in them, so I can't necessarily open them up to show you. But these are the different databases that I use for a couple of the programs or apps that I've developed for use inside my business. These two main ones are Lister and Prospect. All right, so they do a couple different things. Lister is basically a list management program, and for those of us that are in business ourselves that come from a marketing or sales background or have experience in it, you know the saying that the money is in the list. That will always hold true. That's what social media is about. That's what data centers are about, the list, information, right? So you always want to have a way to capture and maintain the information about the people who engage with your business online, in person, wherever you come into contact with people. So these are some of my databases that I use in my business. These databases tie into these automations that we were just looking at, right? So the databases store my information, and these are the automations and systems that I've designed for my personal business app that I use behind the scenes. So I want to share this with everybody because I want everyone to know that, you know, the things that I talk about on Legit Hustle, they're not things that I've just read about or, you know, that I've heard about. These are systems and processes and tools that I actually use on a day-to-day basis in my personal business, right? So as I said, generative AI is a way that we as small businesses, again, regardless of our size, can use these tools to accelerate our development and transform the data that we have, like the lists, our client databases. We can turn those into very extensive analytics. We can find out very specifics about our buyers and our prospects, which only helps us to fine tune our marketing and our sales efforts even more, right? So that's based on generative AI. Now, why the sense of urgency? As I said, to say that something is imperative naturally implies that it's urgent for us to do it,
right? That it's very important that we do this particular thing. So why is it so important that people actually at least look in to how you can use these tools for yourself as a small business? The fact of the matter is, it's already a reality. Businesses are already using them. And this technology is so transformative that even if we tire of AI videos and those type of things, the technology itself is not going to go away. It's going to continue to develop into the future. The longer we take as small businesses or entrepreneurs to actually incorporate these techniques and strategies and tools into our business, it's costing us something. It's costing us efficiency. It's costing us more money to operate the way we did in the 20th century, when business nowadays operates at a much faster speed. So it costs us to keep using the old techniques and technologies, right? When you're a business and you're just starting out, young person, old person, doesn't matter. There's a thing called speed to market. And whether you're familiar with that term or not, you've experienced it. Speed to market is that drive, that push in you. Speed to market is that sense of urgency that you push that you push so hard for to achieve in your personal life, in your business life. And it's that desire to get this thing out there to people. Not just so we can make money, but to actually express our creative effort in our business, right? To express this thing that we work on, that we're so passionate about, that we love doing so much. We want to get that to people, and we want to get it to them effectively, right? That's one of the things that drive us as entrepreneurs and business owners. These type of tools help you get your ideas and your concepts out to people on average about 2.5 times faster than if you were not using them. If you come up with an idea today, let's say you get an idea for a new animated series for your social media channels, right? You can literally take that thing from idea to a real concept, not in a matter of months, weeks, sometimes not even days. You can have it done in a matter of hours. I'm talking about idea, written, produced, edited, and up on your social media platform within hours of having the idea, right? Why wouldn't we, as small businesses, incorporate the tools that will allow us to get to our market, to get our baby, to get this thing that we have to share with everybody, get it to them 2.5 times faster? Now, word of caution, from personal experience, you have to really pace yourself when you use these tools. One of the things that I've run into, especially when I first started working with AI in my business, is that it does things so fast for you that sometimes you'll overwhelm yourself, right? Let's say you have a plan, a marketing campaign or something that you're executing, and you're at step 2. You're preparing to do step 2 of whatever that thing is. These systems and tools work so fast that by the time you get ready to take that step, you're not on step 2. You're actually on step 7 or 8 in your process, and you won't even realize it because it does things that fast for you. So one of the things that I have learned from personal experience when working with AI is to pace myself, to not outpace my production with my actual capabilities, right? Because you can take something from idea to concept in hours, minutes sometimes, right? But if you have a real, actual, solid plan for how to implement these things into your business, then you won't necessarily run into that, but you will experience the benefits, the increase, the improved capability, right? I mentioned customer service earlier, the person who calls your business and maybe can't get in touch with you right away. 24/7 responsiveness, personalization at scale, and predictive services. Keep your customers in contact with you. It extends the touch point. It extends the number of times that you can contact a client. For example, the email sequence that I had in my automation system that I showed you guys a second ago. Statistical data shows that it takes about 7 to 8 contacts on average to transition a person from a cold contact with your company online to actually someone who purchases from you, right? So knowing that, I designed those emails and paste them so that they will go out at a predictive time to maintain that contact with people that have come in contact with my company on social media, on my websites, even in person, right? Same thing applies to if you have automated text responders, automated email responders. These things keep people in touch with your company. It helps to keep your company at the top of their mind, which is where you want to be when you're building a brand, when you're building a business. When people think of your industry, you want to be the first thing, the first person that they think of if they need that service or if they need that product. By staying at the top of mind, you make sure or help ensure that you're more likely to be the person that they think of, right? Without being spammy, without being pushy as a salesperson. You can design all of that into your own personalized system. Personalization at scale. These systems allow you to do things like greet clients by their first name when they call you, right? Even when it comes to taking a voice message, instead of the generic, I'm not here, leave a message, or something that you record, you have an intelligent, not an artificially intelligent system that will greet that prospect or client by their name. Repeat back to them what it is they want. Ask questions, get very specific, detailed information that allows you to reach back out to them and actually picked up where they left off at in their state of mind when they originally called you. Again, touch points, maintaining contact with that person, not just physically, not just on their devices, but top of mind, right? And that's one of the major goals you have when you're building a brand, is to be top of mind for people. Now, the 𝐬𝐮 strategy. This is a strategy that I developed. That's why I have the copyright sign up there. This is one of the systems that I developed myself. Economy, execution, and efficiency are 3 of the 6 components of the 𝐬𝐮 strategy, and I teach these again usually in private workshops with clients or in one-on-one consultations. But just these 3 principles right here, by applying them to your business, gives you exponential growth, not little steps in growth. It allows you to expand, not just progress forward, right? And again, without necessarily having to work harder, without having to necessarily work excessively long hours to accomplish things. Efficiency. Efficiency is often overlooked in business, But efficiency is one of those things. If you just focus on being more efficient in your operations, your revenue will increase. Your profitability naturally increases through efficiency, right? The way these systems help with efficiency is it allows you to optimize every process that you have in your business, eliminated waste, whether it be time, money, or effort, and maximizing what each effort is able to output, right? To maximize the impact of every effort or every action that your business takes. Another thing is execution. Sometimes we have to make decisions that are routine, that are kind of generic. Not the major decisions about what happens with the company or, you know, what the yearly goals are going to be. Not necessarily those things, but smaller decisions, right? That take time because you have to go look into this system and go pay attention to these analytics. Execution at scale. Automate certain processes. Anybody who's into crypto trading or online trading, day trading, you know the value of having auto traders, right? Systems that automatically monitor a stock or whatever it is that you're watching. And instead of you having to worry about being able to catch it when it hits a certain price to sell or buy, you can already have that thing automated. So you know the benefit of speed to execution, especially when information is coming in real time and decisions have to be made real time, right? So that's one example of how automating certain decision making will allow you to grow exponentially, to expand exponentially. Another principle of the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 strategy is economy, right? That's related to coming up with sustainable advantages when it comes to cost, whether it's saving money by buying in larger bulk, or saving time by performing more with the same task. There are many ways that we can incorporate the principle of economy into our businesses and use automation and AI to handle it for us. And just these three principles right here, if you were to pay more attention to how you perform these, how efficient are you? How quickly can your business execute routine decisions, like in the trading example? And how cost effective are you at what you do, and how well can you maintain the advantage of cost effectiveness in what you do, right? Just those three principles alone would transform the average business overnight, right? So strategic safeguards. Now, I don't think I need to tell anyone that sees this that the modern technological world is a dangerous place, right? We see every day, we hear every day about different scams that happen, different things that go on. I was going to talk about the Somali scammer situation, but I don't think I need to. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The online world can be a dangerous place. There's a lot of data out there about you. And people have the skills and technological capabilities to access a lot of things. Pretty much anything that's on the internet, right? So we always have to be aware of the risk of using these technologies and not go into it blind, you know? So one of the risks that businesses face, or not even businesses, even workers, is that AI and automation is looked at as something that's going to replace them. And yes, it can replace jobs. It most definitely can. But that's if we choose to do that. A better use of these tools is to elevate your team, to make them even more capable, not eliminate them, right? Whether it's your assistant, a salesperson, anybody in your business, instead of looking at these processes as a competition to a person, look at it as an enhancement to a person's ability to perform their task, to do their job. You can automate tedious tasks, again, so that you can focus on more important things that actually contribute to the productivity, the profitability of your business. Instead of looking at it as replacing talent, look at it as allowing your talent, your team, the people that depend on you and your business to provide for themselves and their families. Look at it as a way to elevate that person, to put that person in a position to perform duties that maybe that they never thought they'd be able to do, to develop skills that they never thought they could develop. One of the ways that large corporations use AI right now, and some of you guys are already familiar with this, is in upskilling, right? And upskilling is just increasing the skills, increasing the competency of a person that works on your team or works in your business. And they're using AI to do it, to tailor the education process or the upskilling process to that individual's learning style. So rather than looking at these tools as things that will replace people's jobs, look at it as ways to elevate them, to make them more capable, to give them the opportunities that maybe you or they don't even know exist for them right now. If you have an idea or people on your team are very creative, you can accelerate the process, the development process, to get these new ideas, these new creatives that people come up with you, actually come up with for you. My apologies. You can get that incorporated into your business so much faster nowadays that for us as small business owners, why wouldn't we be doing this? You know, the caption down at the bottom, it says that the most successful automation strategies don't reduce head count, they multiply capability, so that the team becomes more valuable, more engaged, and more strategically impactful when they don't have to worry about the tedious, repetitive tasks that they have to do every day, right? They get to focus on the thing that they do that they're really passionate about, that they're really, really good at, and not so much the things that prevent them from being their best selves, right? So I know there's a lot of fear out there about what AI will mean for the job market, and it's very real. Yes, AI is replacing jobs, but my recommendation is that for us as people, especially small business owners, that we look for ways to open up our businesses and expand our businesses so that we can provide jobs if people need them. We already know small businesses make America run. Was it 80 to 90% of businesses in America are small businesses? And for so long, the wealth and the best talent and the greatest capabilities was being hogged by big corporations that had the money and the resources to look into developing things that would allow them to capitalize on technology. But these tools and our access to them has made it so that if our neighbor needs a job, if our brother needs a job, if our sister needs a job,
These are the tools that will allow us to expand our businesses to the point that we can provide those. But we can't provide jobs for people if we're not expanding, if we're not growing. And not necessarily in complexity or busyness, but in capability. Going back to the book that I was talking about earlier, about building systems, one of the things that audiobook talks about, and I really suggest anybody who watches this also listen to that audiobook on building systems. I put the link in the video description, so definitely check that out, right? But one of the biggest factors or biggest misconceptions that we have in business is that it's about our hustle. It's about our effort. When in actuality, more of our success is based on the model that we're using, the systems that we have in place to perform tasks. Some days you're just not on 10. You're not always going to be the go-getter, the energetic salesperson that you may be most of the time, right? It's just human nature. Things happen in our life in real time, and they affect us. The more systems that you have in place, the more automations that you have in place, you're actually protecting your business, your livelihood, your income from those emotional fluctuations that we all experience, those motivational fluctuations that we all experience. So rather than our business productivity mirroring our emotional state at times, especially when we're going through things, systems and automations allow your business, its productivity output, to stay steady, even when our life is doing this, even when the economy around you is going crazy. These systems help provide stability to what it is that we do, right? So if you're in business for yourself, you work for yourself, I don't have to tell you how valuable it is to stabilize your ability to produce, to provide for yourself. It can't totally shield us from the things that are going on around us, right? That would be illogical. But it can help stabilize us during rough economic times, right? So with these things, there are ethics that we have to consider. Again, especially when it comes to generative content, we're all familiar with bots, you know, the weird shit that people do with AI. Some people choose to use it to make racist, ignorant ass videos and demean people and things like that, right? But for those of us who are serious about business, we have to also be ethical about how we use these things. That means making sure that our clients and our customers know when that we do and when they may be interacting with AI on a certain level, right? Transparency. We also want to make sure that we always keep a human in the loop. One of the ways that I do that is I don't use generative AI to deliver my information, right? I don't plan on ever actually producing any content like this where it's not me personally here talking to my audience. And the reason being is because I want to keep a human in the loop. I want to keep that personal, authentic feel whenever you watch my content. It may be more economical, or I maybe could make more content if I used AI more in a generative way, but that's not what I'm doing here, right? I want to always keep a human in the loop in my business, even in my email automations and when it comes to contacting prospects and follow-ups with clients. Not only do I have those things automated,
But I also go in sometimes and personally contact people or send them an email to say, hey, what's up, Mike? Just wanted to touch bases with you, see how everything's going. Wish you well, whatever, to keep a human in the loop. So even though we use these tools, again, it's not about replacing people. It's about complementing and expanding what people can do, increasing our capability, right? So if we're going to use AI, there are some principles that we need to incorporate in it. Again, like transparency, keeping a person involved, testing. Test out the systems to make sure they're functioning as properly. Like I said at the outset, I had a situation where I actually had a system that was contacting people way too much, and they got pissed off about it, and I don't blame them, because I hate spam too. So by paying attention to our process and the things that we're using, it allows us to make sure that we're not using them in an unethical way, that we're not spamming people and doing things that we know we ourselves don't appreciate from businesses. And we can control that. You can build it into the system. So if you're going to incorporate these things, be ethical about it, right? Don't use them to do things that you wouldn't want done to you. A lot of these systems capture data on behalf of our businesses. In a business like mine, where I work with other small businesses, I have access to people's sensitive data, right? So there are things that are built into place to make sure no random person just gets access to that data. End-to-end encryption, access controls and authentications, and compliance and governance. These are the ways that in my industry in tech, we make sure that the security is implemented into the systems that we build and the things that we do, right? Because you can design these systems to communicate with pretty much every other platform out there on the internet at this point. It's very critical that you protect sensitive information, especially if you're processing transactions and things like that. So there are governance rules that you need to be aware of when using AI. And then there are just ethical considerations that may not be against the law, or it may not be a rule, but we definitely want to consider them and make sure that we're abiding by them and operating in a way that's ethical, right? Now, 𝐬𝐮 is another system that I designed myself. I'm not going to get too much into the 𝐬𝐮 system, but again, just like the 𝐬𝐿 system, these are deeper business strategies and concepts that I tend to talk about with people in private settings. All right, so the S in 𝐬𝐮 stands for solve a specific problem first. So a lot of times when we come into contact with these tools, or they come across our timeline and we find out about what these capabilities can do, it seems very overwhelming. It's like information overload, because it can do so much that it makes it hard sometimes to know exactly where we should be starting or exactly how we should be using it. So one of the first things that I tell clients to do is, well, what problem do you want to solve? What very specific problem do you want this thing to address and fix for you? Right? So having that focused approach allows you to identify the thing that's the biggest obstacle to your return on investment, to your profitability, to your effectiveness. Whatever that thing is that's bottlenecking your capability, this system is designed to point it out, figure it out, and then figure out a way to address it once and for all, so that you remove that thing and it's not something that you keep running into in your business, right? And it only takes one. You don't have to have the most complicated automation processes. You only may need one or two to double or triple your effectiveness in your business. It's your capability, right? The saying Rome wasn't built in a day. So you don't have to try to focus on automating everything. Just start with one task, one meaningful task that if you didn't have to personally do it anymore, it would make you X amount of times more effective, X amount of times more money, or whatever it is that you're measuring that thing by, your metrics, right? Some questions you could ask yourself are, which processes causes the most customer complaints? Is it the long wait time? Is it having to call multiple times? Is it getting through to you when the phone lines are busy? Is it a web page going down? What causes your customers and clients the most problems and results in you getting the most complaints? Also, what do you or your team spend the most manual hours on? Is it writing sales copy? Is it contacting prospective clients or customers? Is it actual sales? What is it that your team spends the most time on? What bottleneck limits your revenue growth? What is that thing that's stopping you from hitting that mark? If the goal is $100,000 a year or $100,000 a month, it doesn't matter. What is the thing that's stopping you from hitting that? The one thing, just identifying one. It doesn't even have to be the largest problem. Just one. One substantial, meaningful problem that if it were removed out of your way, your business would blossom and boom. What is that thing? What is the thing that you have to do on a regular basis that it just costs you so much time and money because it's really the way you do it is so inefficient? It takes way more effort than it should. It takes way more time than it should. But it's integral. It's key to your business, so you have to do it. What is that thing? And why is it so inefficient? And this is the way you narrow down what is the one specific problem that you want to solve first with your business. Now, the other parts of the 𝐬𝐻 system have to deal with auditing, investigating, narrowing it down, and then testing your solutions. But it starts off first with identifying the problem, right? So I use this system because it helps to eliminate guesswork, it reduces the risk, and ensures that every automation investment that you make delivers measurable returns. And that is a key word, investment. These tools are not expenses in the traditional sense. These are genuine investments, because the amount that you pay to have this capability translates into increased productivity, increased profitability. It's an investment. It's not just an expense, right? But in order to make sure that we're getting the returns, that we're getting the best usage out of these things, we have to be strategic in how we use them. So we solve problems one problem at a time with automation, right? And each of those incremental steps makes our business, our processes, that much more efficient, that much more effective, right? And that's what we're looking for in business at the end of the day. So, right quick, if you're enjoying this presentation, if you just now tuned in, I want to invite you to check out some of my presentations that I have available. This particular one should be available here within the next, let me see. Today's Wednesday. This particular presentation should be available by the weekend. So again, if you want to get a copy of these things, they'll be available on my website at the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 website. So I got some more work to do to it, but again, stay tuned in with the channel. I got a lot more coming, a lot more in-depth business strategy and information. This is just an overview, and again, this is a condensed version of a much deeper presentation that I do in my private workshop on this topic. So stay tuned with the channel, man. I got a lot of things coming. I think everybody's gonna find it like real cool. So just make sure you subscribe, like this video, share it, help get the word out, and yeah, help my little bitty channel grow, you know. So moving on, hope everybody's enjoying this presentation. So we've talked about the way these things impact our return on investment a couple of times so far. This is a simple formula for calculating our return on investment, right? Let's look at the return on the investment as the time that we save times the frequency times the revenue impact. That's the time that we save. So if we save 1 hour, how often do we save 1 hour? We save 1 hour a day and I work 5 days a week. The frequency would be 5. So I save 1 hour 5 times. And what if each of those hours represented $100? Right? So 1 hour, 5 days a week times $100 would be naturally a $500 return on our investment. What if the tool that allowed you to save 1 hour per day only cost you $20 a month to use? But because you're now using this small automation tool and it saves you about an hour a day, that's an automatic 480% net. I'm sorry, not 480%, $480 net return on investment by implementing one automation tool that saved us 1 hour of work per day. So when I design systems for clients, when I consult with clients, these are the type of techniques that I seek to implement for them, and how we can actually show it number-wise, profit-wise, revenue generation-wise, right? So these things aren't intangible concepts that I'm talking about. When you use these things, they have an automatic and very tangible impact on your bottom line. The amount of money that you keep in your account, the amount of money that you see in your account is increased exponentially by implementing these types of tools. And even if it's just one tool that you implement. Now, that example that I gave for the formula, the revenue impact being $100, that's lowballing it, to be honest with you. Typically, depending on how you structure that system, you could get that system to very well have that $100 revenue impact be $1,000 every single time, right? And it still may only cost you $20 a month. But even if it costs you $200 a month, to add another $5,000 or $6,000 to your bottom line, just by using one tool, implementing one automation. But again, that relies on identifying the problem that's going to have that type of impact, right? So The thing about when we save ourselves time and effort is the fact that it has a compounding impact, right? Like in the ROI formula, that saving 1 hour doesn't impact you one time. It impacts you 5 times a week. You don't save that 1 week. You save that every week. You don't save that every week for 1 month. You save that every week for the whole year. And you don't do that for 1 year. You do that for multiple years. You see how that compounds on each other? You have the daily savings or the daily impact that these systems and process automations have on your business. Then it compounds weekly, but it also impacts you monthly, quarterly, and annually. So the time compounds, the savings compounds. Whatever it is that the automation is addressing for you, it compounds it over time, right? Just like compound interest. I'm not sure if it's a fact that Albert Einstein said compound interest was the greatest invention of all time, but I do believe that Albert Einstein said that. I'm not 100% sure though. But the saying that compound interest was the greatest invention of all time, whether you like it, love it, or hate it, or otherwise, it doesn't change the fact that whenever you have something that compounds on itself, it's gonna grow exponentially. It's gonna grow faster. It's gonna grow bigger. It's going to grow stronger, right? And unlike compounding interest, these systems aren't predatory unless you as the entrepreneur or you as the developer decide to make them predatory. They're not predatory on people by nature. They don't have to be something destructive or harmful to individuals that use them or that we use them on. Compounded interest tends to work against us more than it works for us, the average person. But these things don't have that impact. We can use these to work for us at our pace when we decide to, right? I hope you're enjoying the presentation so far. So, immediate action. One tool that you could deploy today. Let's say you had an email. Y'all forgive me. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all know I'm transparent. I be smoking my ass off before I come on live, man. So half the time when I come up here and talk to y'all, man, I really be feeling good. So sometimes I trip over my words because I'm on that good herb. And if you watching me and you like to partake, then by all means, put some in there. But something as simple as drafting an email can be so powerful for your business, especially if that email is a sales letter or a marketing opportunity. If you don't have to take the time to manually do that, but it has such a major impact, that one tool in itself will probably revolutionize your business. It will probably dramatically increase the amount of money that you actually generate every month in your business. It's literally that powerful. And again, like I showed before, this is not coming from someone who's just heard about these things. These are systems that I designed myself. These are systems that I use myself. I use some larger platforms. I've used the MailChimps. I use Airtable right now. I use Make.com. I've used a lot of different platforms and different softwares, types of tools, whether it be Canva or CapCut, automating my long video editing to make vertical shorts and things like that, right? I've used a lot of them. So I have a lot of experience in using these tools in AI. And I can assure you, it is not hype. It is not over whooping. You can literally use these tools to transform your business in what used to take years. You can now get done in a matter of days or months. Literally. It's literally that transformative. All right. So as we get ready to wrap up, again, I just want to remind everybody that if you would like to actually get a copy of any of the presentations that you see me use on the SMB podcast, then by all means, definitely subscribe to the channel. Stay locked in with me, because the next couple weeks, I'm going to also make all of the presentations that I use on the SMB podcast available for you to download for free from my website. So definitely, again, like, share, subscribe to Legit Hustle. Stay tuned in with me. We're going to have a lot of fun, man. So I'm going to wrap up right here. There's only like 1 or 2 slides left on this presentation. Again, if you actually want to download this copy and go through it yourself and look at it, it'll be available within the next couple days. All right. So I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm about to hop off of here. I got some other things to work on today. And I appreciate everybody for kicking it with me, man. You know, I'm learning. I'm getting this live streaming thing down. A little more down pat every day. So I appreciate everybody's patience with me. I'm not big on social media. I don't really like social media. So I had a lot of personal reservations about doing live content or even just becoming a content creator. But I'm getting over it. So I hope it shows. I'm getting more comfortable with just speaking to the general public. Typically, I do my type of presentations in private settings. I prefer to do them live. Like if I can rent a location and do my presentations live with people, I actually prefer that. But I would be remiss and miss a major opportunity, especially someone who works in tech, if I wasn't using platforms like YouTube and whatnot to expand my reach to reach other potential clients, right? So this is me in that transition process. So I appreciate y'all bearing with me. I stumble over my words sometimes. Sometimes I've been in smoke too much herb, be up here talking to the world. But it is what it is, man. It's me. This is how I am every day. So if you ever get a chance to meet me or do business with me, I'm very transparent, man. I'm a very straight up guy. I don't necessarily care about hiding myself or who I am or how I get down. So if you would like to attend one of my upcoming workshops, then I encourage you to definitely stick around with the channel. Again, I'll be starting those back at the first of the year, right? So you can pull up on some of my private workshops. We can chop it up. I can actually help you get started. Matter of fact, the workshop I'm planning in January, I'm actually going to incorporate designing the a basic automation into the workshop so that I can walk you guys step by step through the process. And we're actually going to use like real world problems from your businesses. And we're going to step by step go through and design solutions for you guys in those workshops. And again, 9 times out of 10, they're free. So if you actually want to attend one of those workshops, then again, please like, share, and subscribe to Legit Hustle. It's going to be a lot of stuff popping off here, man. All right. So once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This has been the SMB podcast. I'm your homie Mike, aka Mr. Legit Hustle. And y'all know my motto, man. Hustle smarter, bro.
Legit hustle. Legit hustle. Legit hustle. Go get him, Uncle Mike.
Yeah, it's like take number 4 or some shit like
Go get him, Uncle
that.
Mike.
Man, I'm just finna spit this shit. Try to keep in mind where I'm supposed to stop. It's gonna come out how it come out, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Ever move at your pace, you change your time, space, and place. Disappear without a trace. Reappear to show your face. Only time to time, cause the bottom line, you only got the time to make. Foot on the gas, don't touch the brake. Fuck if I crash. Fate is fate. Most times blessings, that's your grace. Lots at stake, watch for mistakes. Treat obstacles like they steak. Heavyweight, then clean your plate. Even if you ate already. Grown man shit gets heavy. War in the streets is really up. So lock and load and aim steady. You a hustler, time to prove it. You a gangster, who you move with. Better keep an extra toolkit. Pray to God to never use it. Just a clue for all the clues. Playing dumb, but don't be stupid. Like Steph Curry off the dribble. I don't even gotta look when I shoot it. This a warning for the busters and an anthem for the hustlers. Next time you fold your bundles, just remember, hustle told you. Keep your drip right, yeah, that's Nova. Keep your coat as cold, that's Polar. Put that hustle over your shoulder. Carry that bitch till it's over. Yeah, it's legit hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? For the hustlers only. If you out here grinding, pushing, getting it on your own, trying to build something for yourself and your family, I'm talking to you. Yeah. So what you took an L? Everybody fall down sometimes, man. Get up, shake that shit off. Keep it pushing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. If he gave up, it wasn't me, not in a hustler's pedigree. I knew the path that I had chosen wasn't free, nor should it be. A real leader's gonna stand up, give his friends a helping hand up. If he get one, then he got one. From the Lambo to the Phantom, only if it's just legit. All 366, he only swing for the fence. Legit hustlers never miss. Belt the ass, I got a list. Rub me wrong, you get your itch. Pop out, I hope you got a wish. Like the genie in this bitch. Hustlers and suck, never mix. Real is real, so don't forget. That is that and this is this. On the real hustle shit that we kick, you dig? You dig? Yeah. That is that and this is this. It's on the real hustle shit that we kick, you dig? Yeah, like I said, man, this legit hustle. Tales of a Hustler 3. You know what I'm saying? For the hustlers, man. The go-getters. You know, people out there getting on their own. Yeah. If that's you, welcome. Tales of a Hustler 3. Here's your homie, Legit Hustle. Yeah, man. Speaking for the hustlers, man. No matter where you came from, you can be from the streets, you can be Ivy League, you can be a stockbroker, man. You can be just a regular dude, man, selling fruit on the corner. I don't care, man. If you a hustler, you know you a hustler. It's in you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Greetings, everybody. This is Mike, aka Mr. Legit Hustle. Y'all know me, your homie, your brother from another mother. First and foremost, thank you for checking me out, for being here rocking with me. Could have been anywhere else on the internet, on YouTube, but you're here watching my content, so I just want to thank you. I also want to ask you something. Do you have a dream or goal that you feel driven to pursue? Or maybe you're like me and you're already deep in the pursuit of your dream or whatever that goal is, and you like a little motivation and direction in overcoming the challenges that you face. You know, sometimes we doubt ourselves. Sometimes we get afraid of failing. Or maybe you just need some inspiration from time to time. Well, I want to encourage you to never allow yourself to fall victim to discouragement. When you choose to pursue a goal or a dream in your life, know that you're gonna get met with opposition and challenges. It just comes with the territory. But there's too much at stake for you to quit. And if you're like me, then you've come too far and through too much to ever give up on that dream or that goal. So, I want to invite you to grab one or two or all of my legit motivation presentations. You can watch the videos on my Legit Motivation podcast,
on my YouTube channel. And if you see one that you like, you can download the actual slide presentation that I developed and used in that video. That way, you can review the information in depth at your own pace. Now, each slide presentation is packed with factual, reputable, and verifiable information from reliable sources, as well as the game I've learned in 46 years on this realm. So head over to my Legit Motivation podcast on YouTube or go to 𝐬𝐿GHustle.com. Presentations are free, but if you'd like to support the channel, then you can donate there as well. Whether you do or don't, the presentations are yours to keep. Plus, you'll get a special bonus offer on all of my products and services when you download your first presentation. So head over to 𝐬𝐿GHustle.com or look for the link in the comment section of the video that you like. Alright? Again, thank you for rocking with me. Enjoy the rest of the show. Peace.